Gospel goodies.
Gospel goodies. Gospel goodies.
This is Gospel Goodies.
Home of Yolanda Adams Morning Show is Philly's favorite 100.7 FM and 99.5 HD3. This is the Love Series section of our show for tonight. So what's your question? What are you asking? What do you want to know?
You know, this week we didn't take a listener question because I actually have a question. So Lamont, I want to know, how do you not project your past relationship issues into new ones? So how do you not allow red flags from your previous relationship, or not even red flags, but just issues you had, which might not be an issue with the person in the new one, but because you dealt with it as an issue in a relationship, in a past relationship, you kind of project it onto this new one. How do you kind of combat that?
Honestly, because it was a red flag in your last relationship, it's something that you have to bring to the forefront to share with your new relationship. And you have to express to them why it's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? Because people, we're all different. So if you was to express to one, so take for example, if someone I saw a red flag in a relationship about, let's just say someone didn't want to cook breakfast. So I'm just using that as an example. So if I go to you and I'm like, listen, the last relationship I was in, they didn't really want to cook breakfast, and I could tell that they did. So now I brought it up to the attention of the person, and we're going to have a conversation in depth because it was a red flag. So they're going to either tell me, no, I don't cook, or I can't cook, or I'll try to cook. But we can address it head on versus me living in the past of somebody else's red flag. You know what I'm saying? Because red flags are not to be ignored. A lot of times we get in relationships and we ignore them, and we either think one or two things. Either they'll change or it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. But a red flag is a red flag. It ain't yellow. It ain't caution. It's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta really take heed to red flags.
But I think Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, good question, Aaliyah. I think it sounded like more of what she was asking, though, is how do you combat the negativity of bringing it to the new relationship? Meaning that the good old, as women would say, I'm not her, or a man would say, I'm not him.
Mm-hmm,
so
exactly.
Right. So it's like, the reason why you're saying that is because something has triggered the reaction of, right? There's a cause and effect in everything. So somehow there is a way that you have to deal with the I'm not her, I'm not him. So I think she's asking, how do you combat that so that way it's not becoming a negative? So I leave my socks on the table. You did that at your last relationship and it may have worked there. Mm-hmm. So that is a trigger for a new person or whatever. It's like, how do you combat that to be like, you know what? When she left her socks on the table the last time, this is what I had to deal with. It's a now negativity.
Well, or even this. How about this? So say you don't get a phone call back, right? In the last relationship, that could have been a really negative. Something negative was happening behind you not getting that phone call back. So how do you take that into a new relationship and say, okay, something really came up for you, instead of you going to, oh, you must be up to like no good.
Well, red flags, because now you're dealing with red flags with included baggage.
Mm-hmm. Baggage, yes.
That's, you know what I'm saying? You got to unpack that somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that with you. I look at relationships like I see restaurants. If I have a bad experience at Red Lobster, now I go to Olive Garden, new relationship. You know what I'm saying? New situation. Now, am I going to forget how Red Lobster treated me? Not at all. But I will ask, excuse me, do you do blase, 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 blase in a way to where Olive Garden doesn't know I had a bad experience? It's not combative. I'm not going to ask them like, well, I was at Red Lobster. No, I'm going to say, listen, real quick question. Do you guys, whatever case may be, and how they respond, I'm either going to have a sigh of relief or I'm going to be like, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Oh, great. Yesterday, I tried to take my kids to Burger King. I went to 5 Burger Kings and they all said the credit card system was down. I mean, the cash, they couldn't do cash. I'm sorry, they couldn't do credit card, cash only. I'm like, 5 Burger Kings? Like 5. I got to McDonald's. It was the same thing. Don't ask me what I think after that, but somebody playing funny money games right now.
I thought you were going to say the icing machine was down.
Yeah, an icing machine. But no, I just want to piggyback off what you said real quick. A good point that you brought up was that, when you do see the communicating about something that you are, because wherever you go, you are. So if you go into a new relationship with issues, you're still there. If the issue is not communicated that I had this problem before, it's all in the delivery. Because nobody wants to hear, oh, you just like her, or you're just like him. You don't want to hear it, so it's in the delivery. So I guess you made a good point by saying if you communicate that something of the familiar, because we work off familiarity. Our brains hear, our ears hear it, our brains recognize it, our eyes see it. So immediately we respond to what our familiar emotions are. So if you don't communicate that the dishes in the sink overnight is a problem, it's going to trigger, and now it's going to be combative because that's what somebody else did. So I think that's a good point to communicate.
Most definitely. That's what it's about, man. Communication is big to any relationship.
Yeah. Communication calms combat. Right.
And consistency.
That's good.
We can talk about consistency next week.
Nice.
Right. So listen, if you got any questions about love, hit us up. Hit us up at Gospel Goodies. Anywhere you see Gospel Goodies, hit us up. Gospel Goodies on TV, Gospel Goodies on social media, and I think it's a Gospel Goodies online. Am I saying it right? At gmail.com.
Yep.
Gospel Goodies online at gmail.com. All right.